Hello, hello, hello. How is everyone doing this fine, warm afternoon? I guarantee at some point I will blame how warm it is on my fingers slipping, but no now, that's just an excuse. So I'm starting off over here on this kind of green looking rock, creatively named by me the Green Corner because it's a corner and covered in green algae. And when I first started climbing back like 3 and a bit years ago, getting up anything on this was like, oh my goodness, I feel like a real climber now. And coming back to it, it's all just so straightforward, but I want to show it off. It's pretty fun. So that was one. You can also do slightly harder things right on the corner, but I couldn't do that right away when I was starting. I thought it was impossible, just too hard. You couldn't do it, couldn't be done. And yet, it's amazing how after climbing longer, that sort of obstinance turned into maybe it can be done. Maybe I can't do it now, but at least I can see where to go if I could do it. Got good at that. I moved on this way into that little dish, which the first time I did it, I was like, I'll show you the move that was super scary. I'll climb up to it, looked panicked, and then down climb, and then I'll pop on up and show you the super scary move that stopped me from doing it for like a year and a half. Right, so that's where I got scared. But then, after a certain time, I got up to this point, and I realized I can just step up. Let's move on to some more interesting stuff. So yeah, before I get started, my super high-tech technology right now for holding my phone in place for this is this guy, you know. Definitely its intended purpose. Just a disclaimer I typed a bit earlier. I'm not doing this on behalf of the Boy Scouts. This is a little bit taller than the Boy Scouts lets you climb without a harness on, so yeah, going rogue. But this is where I learned to climb, basically, so word. It has a mantle on it that I just got a week and a half ago. I was like, oh, there's no way I could do this mantle, and I'm good at gym climbing, I know. And I had that thought and I broke it apart. I'm like, wait, no, I am kind of okay at gym climbing, and I've done mantles way harder than this. This is just good old granite, sharp edges, tiny pockets. Like, I didn't believe those tiny credit card crimps they have in gyms. And, then I climbed this thing, I'm like, it's so blank, there's nothing to grab. And I saw this, I'm like, okay, they're better than I thought. Change of pace, I'm just going to show off the first climb I ever did on this again, back before I knew what I was doing. But, interestingly enough, before I did some of the smaller climbs that I might be showing off a bit later. So this was way back when I don't know how to climb, but this looks doable. And it turns out it was. I did have my first and only real panic attack about climbing halfway up this route. I'll stop and maybe look a little bit panicked on the way up to show where. Yeah, I know. Pads are expensive though, and not falling, or falling and accepting that it will hurt is free. In climbing gyms, I climb slab way better than other styles of boulder. And I'm like, I really don't know why. And then as I started revisiting all of these things, I'm like, okay, yeah, I know why now. Definitely, it is a bunch of highball slabs, like again, around 28 feet maybe. I think this is a good angle for the climb. This climb is, again, one of the most recent ones I've done here. Super fun, a lot more actually technical and climby than the other stuff I have on this. Yeah, so this section here is my latest project. I've figured out how to protect it from the top, so whenever this is all over and I can get back with a belayer, I can give this one a couple of real goes. But the problem is, it is very, very sketchy. It is a fun traverse, though, getting across to where the problem is. I might do that and experiment a little bit. This is where I'm probably going to fall, which is why it's going to be very low. So I'm going to move around to the left to where there's some more bouldery things. But yeah, this section in here is more pretty slabby stuff. Super fun. Super frightening when I was beginning. And this corner there is like super gross when it's rainy. Luckily it's pretty dry out. Between reading The Rock Warrior's Way and getting to directly experience those mental feelings he's talking about and how the ego asserts itself in this place, it was really good for my mental game. Yeah, amazing book. Should be mandatory reading, I think, for everyone, even if they have no interest in climbing, because it's a lot more accessible than the stuff he distills his thought process from. There's a problem over there that I'm working on that I'm going to try that I can't do. That should be good. Yeah, the thought is, if I can get my foot here, my hand here, I should be pretty well off. But yeah, so that thing there, first time I got that climb done ever. I have literally fallen off it twice, right when I first started, which kind of spooked me from trying it, and then I've backed off of it a bunch, but that was so friggin' amazing. For fun, I'm going to cool off trying another one hard boulder that I probably won't get. I've done it once, haven't done it a bunch. Yeah, I am definitely, I think, going to be a lot stronger after all of this, provided I don't get cripplingly sick. Because really all I have time to do right now is play Magic, play Hearthstone, and then make videos and work out. So lots of time for that last one. But this climb, this little cleft thing over here, is gross. Yeah, you got me. I will admit probably around 4 hours, 5 hours, 6 hours a day right now has been Animal Crossing. I started 2 days late, so I have to catch up, you know. Or not fall off. Or maybe I don't fall off of it. Clearly this is like the gym. I climb better when people are watching. So real quick, those two rocks there, back when I was like just starting to even think about climbing, before I had climbing shoes or anything, before I would actually go out and try and climb, I'd just jump across that tiny gap there. Because with the thought process of if I couldn't muster up the like focus and courage to make that tiny little jump, there was no way I'd be able to climb. And that is like so funny looking back now at how small that is. Oh my goodness, finding fossils for blather is definitely the most important part of the game for me. You know, they say representation matters in games, and having just an unabashed nerd who desperately just wants to talk to you about things they're interested in, resonates with me. Oh yeah, no, it's not that scary at all. So it's like literally stepping like that, but it feels scary in the moments. Oh no, it is one of those things that looks and feels a lot scarier than it like objectively is. And once you've done it a couple of times, it becomes like, okay, this is an acceptable amount of risk. And that, at least again, for my mental game in climbing was like super helpful. Understanding that my brain's going to find everything scary. And I have to listen to it, but not necessarily always agree with it.